Hey, this is James with Islands Visuals, and today's unboxing review, we're doing an unboxing on the Comica wireless microphone system. Alright, so right now we're talking on the mic so that you'll be able to get a good idea of how the sound is. And it's a little bit windy out here. The flags that are out are currently blowing, and it'll give you a pretty good idea that it is windy out here and how it sounds with the dead cat on it. What do you think? How does it sound to you? Do you like how it sounds? Awesome. But who do I recommend these mics for? Well, I recommend them for vloggers and also interviewers. Or if you're doing, like, say, you're doing an instructional video, you know, like you want to do it behind the scenes of a wedding or something like that. Now, who do I not recommend these to? Wedding videographers. Can you use them in weddings? Yeah, of course, you can use them in weddings. The reason why I don't recommend these for weddings, now don't get me wrong, you could use it at a wedding, and hey, it could end up turning out to be pretty good and work well and stuff like that. Just depends on how you want to use it. I don't recommend them because they're transmitters, and for weddings, it's not a good idea to use transmitter mics in weddings, because there are so many things that can mess up, and you don't want to take that chances. You're better off doing two things for weddings, and using recorder mics, because those won't interfere with DJ's mics. And also, if they do have a DJ there, plug into their board with a H4n or something similar to that. Those handheld recorders and stuff like that, they use the XLR cables. I highly recommend you use those. Plug them in your DJ board if your DJs are using mics, but also use your mics as well. These right here will do if you're trying to do it on a budget. You're very new with weddings, and you just want to be able to have good sound for your couple, and you don't really have the money to spend on expensive microphones. These right here will be excellent for you, and they will do. But eventually you want to upgrade to a better, for the recorder mics for your weddings and stuff like that. With that being said, I highly recommend them if you're doing interviews and you're doing vlogging. Now, I will go ahead and do a short distance. I'm not going to do a really long distance because I'm sure there's other videos out there doing that. But to be honest, most of the time, this is about the distance you're going to be away from the camera. Now, I pretty much took it out and I hooked it up to my camera, made sure that I looked on my camera screen and make sure that the bars are moving up and down on the camera. I didn't really do hardly any other settings with it. So let's go ahead and do the distance test. Now, like I said, I'm not going to do a very long distance, so I'm just going to walk away a little bit and do a little bit of a distance test. Just to pretty much show off that, hey, you can be a pretty good ways away from it and it'll still stay connected. Facing the camera, let me see what happens when I'm not facing the camera and I'm still walking a pretty good ways away. Now, I'm pretty good ways away. I'm facing the camera right now, and honestly, why would you be this far away from your camera? More likely you wouldn't. But I thought I'd go ahead and do a distance test to show off how it is. I'm facing away from the camera right now, and this is what happens when the camera is blocked. We're getting ready to have a car pass us, so we're going to see how it does whenever it's interfered by a vehicle passing by us. By the way, this is a charging case. It does have the little light on here if you need the charging case to charge back up. But a lot of times you stick your microphones in there and they'll charge up for you. The little charging port right here, and it takes a USB-C charger. You can just plug it in there, charge it up, and then you have your case pretty much charged. I really like that it does that. That way you know that your microphones are ready to go whenever you need it. Okay, now we are in an editing room, and I am currently editing the video. And so far, I am highly impressed with this. The sound quality is really good. I mean, really good. Probably one of the best budget microphone I've ever had the pleasure of working with. These are transmitter mics. The particular one I have is mostly for like cameras and professionals and stuff like that. Can this be used in a for professionals? Yeah, heck yeah. It could definitely be used professional. I highly recommend this for professional work. There is another one called, I think it's Hollyland or Hollyview or Hollyland, something like that. And it's very similar to that. However, I think it is much better because they are a lot smaller than those are, and they are a lot smaller than the Rode mics. I don't have the Rode mics, but the Rode Micro, but I think these are much better. They're a lot smaller. They are a lot skinnier and much more easier to use. Now, granted, these do not have internal recording, which I wish it did have. If it only had that, man, I would really highly recommend them if they had internal recording. Okay, I am doing a little cut on the crappy mic that I got in my editing room. But if you can see the two little black rings around here, around this jack right here, that means it is made to work with professional cameras and stuff like that. Now the ones with 3 rings on it are for cell phones, so don't make that mistake. The one with 2 rings are for cameras, the one with 3 rings are for cell phones. And for those of you that doesn't have a cell phone jack, well, no problem, they have an adapter right here that you can use to plug in there and then plug into your cell phone if you have an Android device. I don't think they come with the iPhone one. But with that aside, the transmitters are really good because I was running some tests. I ran to the side of my house, and clearly blocking the view of my camera. I couldn't see. I was a little bit worried someone was going to steal it, but anyhow, I went to the side of my house, and the corner of my house was pretty much blocking it, and it was still picking up just fine. And I was like, okay, well, it still worked then. Let me walk inside of my house. So I walked inside of my house, and it was still working, no problem. But I walked inside of my house, closed my door, all my curtains were shut, and it still stayed connected. Well, that's it for this video. Until next time, live long and prosper, and peace out.